guys. Get started in a second. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see here. All right. We will get started in exactly 30 seconds. All right. Let's get it going. All right. Welcome to the live session, April 30th, 2025. Sorry for the late start. Um, I had to I had to run some errands, and then I got home, and then I took a quick nap, and then my alarm just did not go off. So forgive me for that. Let's get started here. All right. So basically, what are we looking at for the market? Well, as I mentioned last week, I think we're gonna rally all the way to here. So this 558.33 area. That's where I'm gonna be shorting. Okay, so we said that, like, what happens here, we short, and we're gonna be long until then. Okay, so we're long until here. We essentially we could have gap filled, but we did not. Right there, at that area, we did not get that gap fill at that 53.39 area. So we're just going. We're pushing past that 50 SMA here. Okay, we're gonna go to that 56.73 And then after that, we're going to go to that 57.78. And then that 58.33 is that big level. That 58.30 area is big area. So we're going to be at that 100 SMA, and we're going to be at that major resistance. So it's by the dip until we get here. That's basically it. Okay. So this is our target. 58.30, the 58.30. So basically we're long until 58.30. So we got what? 200 points to go. Right. We're at 56.38 right now. We got 200 points to go. So last week I said that we were going here and that we had like what, 500 points to go. Okay, so now we're going slowly. Okay, but surely we're going. And we're going to go till we hit there. And then we'll reevaluate when we get there. Okay, why? Because essentially what I'm looking at is this inverse head and shoulders pattern here. So if we go here, okay, and then we reject, then we'll be building an inverse head and shoulders area. So we're going to be shorting in this general area of 58.30 area. Okay, so we're long until then. Okay, we said it last week. We're still saying it this week. We're long until we get here. Okay, so let's see what happens if we reject, huh? Well, what did we say last week, right? We said last week we needed to close by this on Friday, and then we need to close by this on Friday on the weekly. Okay, so we need to close by Friday on the daily here at least, and we need to close by this this area here on Wednesday. I mean on the weekly on Friday, and we did both those things. So we closed on Thursday higher, okay, and then on Friday we closed on that weekly. Okay, we held it. Okay, and then now we're pushing from there. Okay, and we held that, and now we're pushing from there. We had a pullback there, and then we came back, and now we're pushing here, and now we're above that 50 SMA. So our next stop is 56.73, and then past that, we're going to 57.78 and that 58.30. Okay, but essentially we're gonna grind up there. Okay, that's where we're going. Our target is still that 58.30 area, and that's where we're going. So it's basically by the dip till we get there. And we might, see, here's a A, B, C correction. Here's a wave 1, wave 2. This is potentially going into a wave 3. But if this is a wave 3 here, we should be going past this area. But I do feel like this is a very strong area to short at this spot. So I will still be getting short here. Okay, but I'm gonna be long this whole way. I'm still long. I got long calls. I got long spy calls. I got long QQQ calls. I got long a lot of things. Okay, but essentially we're going here. I'm not gonna be worried unless we're back below 55.20. We're back below 55.20, then we got problems. We said on the weekly, right? We said we had this reversal candle here, right? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Okay, and then we had nothing not last week, the week before that. And then we had this bullish engulfing candle, which confirmed this candle. So this is confirming that reversal here, and then this is just a continuation. So this continuation is telling us that we should be able to go to that 5800. Okay, 5800, 5720 area, 5750 area. Okay, so we got room to go higher. We still got room to go higher. So There's nothing telling us right now that we should be worried about going lower. Okay. I don't know. People think that we're still like stuck in the downtrend. I don't see that. I think we're in creating a new uptrend right here. So, we're not going to be completely out of a downtrend essentially unless we're past this here. But for right now, we're still in an uptrend. We're still in this uptrend right here. Short-term uptrend, great. It's slowly grinding up, but it's still grinding up. All right. All right. Okay. Now, what does that look for SPY? Well, SPY. So same kind of idea. Okay. Remember we were in this big old giant drop. Okay, we dropped off ABC correction here. Okay, now we bottomed at this area here when we had that big day. Then we came back halfway, and then we're pushing. Okay, so here we're gonna rally towards 576, 576.50. Okay, so 576.50. So that 576.50 is where we're targeting. Okay, 576, 576.50, 578, all that zone right there. So the 200 SMA is 573. So we're going there at least. Okay, so 573. So we still got a good 20 points. Still got a good 20 points to go on SPY. We had a little pullback here today. We didn't get quite where I thought we were going to get to, 537. We came back and had a strong day. Had a nice bullish engulfing pretty much. So we rallied back down, and then we rallied up, and we closed higher than we did yesterday. Okay, so on good volume. All right, so this here setting up. We should, once it breaks through that 50 SMA at 558.67, we should be heading towards that 568 level. Okay, and then once we pass that 568 level, we should hit 573 and 576. And that 576 level, that's where I will be getting some puts. Because that's where I will be saying, okay, what happens here? It's possibly going to get rejected here. Why is it going to get rejected here? Well, because that's where the big drop happened. That's where the big drop happened. We back tested that area for the big drop. It dropped. Okay, now we're coming back. Okay, we're going to come back and test that area that had that big drop. We test that big area, had that big drop. Probably going to pull back a little bit, create that inverse head and shoulders. Okay, we pull back some. Okay, and set up, and then possibly break through and then go back to all-time highs. That's a possibility. Now, what's happening in the next week that this could all happen and all this could essentially work out that way? Well, we could rally this week into next week, and then the Fed meeting could happen, right? Because the Fed meeting's a week from today. So next week the Fed meeting is. So we could rally up, chop around, okay, and then pull back, whatever. Fed meeting comes. We could either pull back for the Fed meeting, we could pull back before the Fed meeting, we could pull back at the Fed meeting, and then we could, or if we already pulled back by the Fed meeting, we could rally towards the Fed meeting. Okay, so either way, we're gonna rally. We're gonna rally there. We're either gonna rally there before the Fed meeting, or we're gonna rally there into the Fed meeting. Okay, so if we rally there into the Fed meeting, then obviously you're gonna be short the Fed meeting. Okay, if we rally here before the Fed meeting and then pull back, then that gives us kind of an idea of like maybe we could be long the Fed meeting. Okay, if we rally here and then chop around here and stay here until the Fed meeting, and then that's going to give us an idea that maybe it's going to be iffy right there in the Fed meeting. It could drop, and it could pop. Okay, so either way, we'll deal with the Fed meeting when it gets here. But right now we're long until 576. Okay, that's the deal. That's the name of the game. That's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna stay doing. So we're long until 576.50. Okay, that's it. Buy until then. Okay, as we said last week, that's where we're going. Okay, we said we needed to close this by the Friday, and we needed to close this by Friday as well on the weekly, and we got both of those closes. Okay, and we were holding that line Monday, Tuesday, and then today we held it. We lost it, then we held it, and then we rallied upon it. So tomorrow it looks like we're going to continue on, and as we get through, we get to that 568. We'll have a little bit of resistance at 564, and then if we can pass that, we go to 568, and then we'll have that 573, and then we'll have that 567. Okay. So basically, we see after hours. We broke out end of day out of this consolidation. Okay, and we could already see this consolidation here is telling us we should be going to 564.87. That's our target. Okay, so we're going there for sure. Okay, and then we're gonna go 568, and then higher. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So above 555, we should be going to 564 for sure. All right. So we long the market? Yes, we are long the market. Long the market. Stay long the market. Buy the dips on the dips until we get to here, until 576. Then I would be a lot more heavier in puts in this area. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that we drop, but I'm just saying this is a high probability area that we do drop. Okay. Very high probability area that we drop. Okay. All right. Now, let's see here. All right. NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ, here we go. NASDAQ wants to go here, 20,500. Okay. 20,500. That's where NASDAQ wants to go. Here's that resistance area here. Okay, we're right here. We're already pushing through. Okay, we have some resistance right here at 20,000. Okay, once we get through that 20,000, we have the 200 SMA 20,300. And that's going to be some resistance, but I think we're going to push through a little bit, get that 20,500, and then pull it back from there. So we got still room to go, like 500 points there. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's go into QQQ. All right, QQQ. Same idea. Okay, we broke out of the downtrend here. All right, we did not get that gap fill. We pushed through. We're right at that 20 SMA. 50 SMA. We broke that 20 SMA. We're right at that. We're right at that 50 SMA. Okay. After hours, we're above that. Okay. Our target here is 493. Okay, so 491 to 493. That is our zone. That is our zone right there. Okay, 491 to 493.65. That is our zone right there. We get to that area, and then that's where I'm going to be loading up on puts there. Until then, it's buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, till we get to that area. Okay, I would say 493 let's see. Yeah, 493 would be the best spot. If we get there 493, that would be the best spot. It's gonna be 492 to 493. That's gonna be the best spot to start getting put hedges. Okay. So that's what we're gonna be looking at right there. All right. So QQQs by the dip until we're going there 492, 493. All right, IWM. Okay. All right, IWM. We're right here below, right that 196.50. Okay, that was a gap fill area. We hit that gap fill yesterday. All right. IWM has been a little weaker. Um, it's still gonna go. I'm not sure if it's gonna get to that 208 level. It can probably go probably 205. Um, but it is weaker than the overall market. It might have a strong day, but right now it's not showing us that right here. It's still showing weaker than markets. So we need it to break through that 200 level. Once it breaks that 200 level, then we could see if it's going to work at 205, 208 level. But still looks good. Still looks like it's going to go. Um, it's just not as strong as SPY or QQQ. Okay, let's see here. Let's go into DIA. All right, DIA. Okay, DIA area. Okay, so DIA hasn't broken out of the daily high yet. Okay, so this one isn't as strong as SPY QQQ as well. So IWM, DIA, they're in the weaker areas. Then SPY and QQQ. SPY and QQQ are stronger. They're already breaking out of the highs. They're breaking out of their daily highs. They're breaking out in general. They're going past their their breakouts for the dailies. Okay. DIA has a gap fill right here at 416. So I believe we're gonna hit that. We're definitely gonna hit that before any pullback. We'll hit that 416. I think we will definitely hit that 200 estimate, that 422. So I'm thinking the DIA has enough juice to push it to at least 420, 422. So if you want to be long DIA, you could definitely be long DIA. I think that a couple of things that if you want to do long stocks in DIA, I'm sure that they're gonna do well as well, such as like airline stocks, stuff like that. I think they're gonna do well. DIA should be able to push into the 416 to 420 areas. Okay. All right, Nvidia. Okay, Nvidia. Nothing's really changed with it since I posted about it. Okay, daily support's at 104. Okay, 4-hour support's at 105. Okay, these were buy areas. Okay, if you bought them today, then great. With me, if you bought them, I bought them earlier today. I bought swings and I bought lottos. It looks good. It looks great. Okay, it has a downtrend right here, right at that 110 area. You break that 110 area, we should be going to that 113. We break through that 113.50. We're going to test that 115.10. We break through that 115.10 area. We go 116.50, and then we go 119.60, and then we go 122.80. Okay, and then that's where the big downtrend is tested at, around that 120, 122 area. Okay, if we could break through those areas, then we test 125, and 125 is a big area because it's the 100 SMA and the 200 SMA. We break through those, then we're going back to 130 and more. Okay, but right now we have to get through that 110 area, and then from there we go 113.50, and then 113.50 we go 115, 113.50 we go 115, 116 area, and then from there we go 120. Okay. Oh, okay. Pepsi. Okay, Pepsi. Okay, Pepsi. You know, anywhere it's near 129, 129, and it's at the lower end of its channel, and it's at 129. It's near that 129 area, and it's at the lower end of its downtrending channel. It has a bullish divergence here for me. Looks like it had earnings. I didn't want to play it. I didn't play it. It missed earnings slightly. But it looks like it's trying to hold the downtrend of the channel. So is it a buy here? I think it's a buy for a pop back up into the channel. That's about it. I think it's a short-term buy. Could it be a long-term buy? You know, anywhere near that 129 is a good area to buy. I think this is a good area to buy, but long-term, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. Would I buy it for a short-term pop back into maybe 140? Maybe 140, 141? Yeah, I would. But am I going to buy this long-term for it? I mean, I don't think so. But can you buy a pop? Sure. All right, CLX. Okay, CLX. All right, CLX. All right, CLX has earnings coming up. What's that? 5/5. So next week Monday. Okay. Okay. Is it a good buy here? I would say it's getting into a good area to buy. So this here gray area is a nice buy area. Okay, Okay, it's just getting over that 20 SMA. That's good. It's still in a downtrend. Um, so it needs to pass that 50 SMA to get past that downtrend. But is it a good area to buy? I think so. I think so. Again, earnings coming up next week. You know, that's a 50-50 shot. Earnings are always 50-50. So do I like it? I like it, but I like it better than Pepsi. I mean, but Pepsi already had earnings, so you don't have a surprise of earnings yet. Pepsi just is probably gonna pop. This one has a, it could have a good surprise of earnings. Although, I don't see any reason why people are buying more bleach or cleaning products. But as where it stands right here in a technical standpoint, it is in a value area, so it could be a nice buy. But again, you have that earnings risk next week. So I like it, but you have the earnings risk, and our size above 50. I like that. I like it. A couple things about it: consolidation. It's up towards the upper end of it. But again, you get the earnings risk next week. I like it, but you got the earnings risk. That's all I gotta say. Okay. All right. Goldman Sachs here. Okay, Goldman Sachs here. Okay, we broke the downtrend here. We're struggling at that 200 SMA and that 50 SMA crossover area. So what's the deal? What's the deal here? The deal here is our size above 50. Volume has been really low. Okay, this one was bought up just like the rest of the market. Okay. Above 544. Okay, this has a reversal here. I think you go 576. Yeah, I think you go 576, 579. 576, 579. I think, yeah, this is a good target here. 579 is going to be your 100 SMA. I think this could break that out, and you could go 576. And then you're going to have some issues right there at 570, 579, 580, 579. So 585 to 580 is you're going to have issues right there. But I think you push till then. Okay, so 580 to 585 on Goldman. Okay. Okay. Tesla. All right, Tesla had this consolidation here. Okay, that bottom was 218. It triple bottom there. It stayed there. Okay, broke the downtrend here. Okay, now it's forming a daily bull flag right here underneath the 200 SMA. It's like a cup and handle daily bull flag. From this level here. So if we're anticipating some kind of pop, and we're anticipating it from, we should be going to 335 on that pop. So Tesla, we have support right here at 267, 268. We almost hit that today. We got to 270 and then we turned around. Okay, we need to see follow through tomorrow. in order for this to be a good reversal, we need to see follow through tomorrow. If we get follow through tomorrow, then we got to break that 285 and then come back here to the 290s and then set up to break that 297. Once we break that 297, we'll go past 300 and go to 310. Okay, if we come back down, this is going to be a very solid area to buy at 267, 268. That 250 SMA is right there. Okay, we got that nice cup and handle. I mean, buying anywhere right here is good, as long as you're buying long. You know, if you're playing lottos, you're just playing with fire, because Tesla just likes to screw around and go up and down all the time. So if you're buying longer term, a couple weeks out, you know, this is a good area to buy. You know, you're gonna break 300. It's gonna break 300. It's gonna go. You know, has nice big buy volume here, above average volume. Okay, we're above the 20 SMA. We're above the 50 SMA. We're right at that 200 SMA. Okay, we're not gonna get through that 200 SMA right away. You know, we're gonna build something. We're building that right now, building that bull flag, setting up. Okay, we break that out. We'll probably break out next week, if not Friday. Okay, if we get that confirmation tomorrow, then we could probably break out Friday. If we don't get that confirmation tomorrow, then we could push Friday, but we'll probably not break out until next week. Okay. So consolidation right here in this zone. Consolidation in there. So we break out of this consolidation, we at least go to 310, as I said, 310. Okay. So what's that? 294. We break that 294, 310s comes. Okay, that plain and simple. Okay. So buy zone 267 and higher. Right there. 267 higher, anything right here is a buy. You buy 300 calls a couple weeks out, easy money. Buy 330, 320 calls a month out, probably gonna get some easy money. Okay. 4 hour, we're right at that 50. That's you know, we wanna see that hold. Squeeze forming, that's good. Okay. All right, 1 hour. You know, hit that 50, came down. That's not good. Okay, we want to see us above that 50. Everything else is whatever. Okay, overall chart daily looks good, looks solid, looks like it's still gonna go. The video I already did. That was the first one I did. I'm not gonna do it again. Okay, Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft, one of the strongest companies in the markets. Honestly, I think they're probably I think they're gonna be one of the strongest companies in technology, just ever. I think so. Personal opinion. Okay, so, you know, let's step back, take a look at this. So Microsoft had this consolidation. We dropped out of it. Okay, now we came back inside. Okay, this monthly candle. Okay, this is a big reason why I got long it. Okay, this monthly candle, we gapped down at the beginning of the month. Okay, now we're pushing higher. Okay, today's the end of the month, right? Today's the end of the month. Tomorrow is the 1st. That's right. So we gap down. Okay, now we push higher. This is a bottoming tail piercing line reversal. All right, so this is telling me that next month we could see 420. Okay, we could see 420 and more. Okay, and after hours we're already past 420, right? We're already past 420. So that's what this was telling me, essentially, that this reversal candle on the monthly is already back inside of the consolidation that we fell out of, and it putting in a very bullish reversal candle. So that was telling me that we could move another, 20, 30 points as a confirmation. So we're already above 420 after hours. And, we could essentially, Microsoft could be one of the first companies to see all-time highs again. That's my opinion. I think that's going to happen. I think Microsoft is probably going to be the strongest company in the markets. I think it sees all-time highs before any other company in tech industry, at least. I think that Microsoft sees all-time highs first. I think it becomes one of the wealthiest companies, and I think that it's a solid long. It's a solid long. So that's my opinion. Sticking to it. We had a little cup and handle, inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. But we held 387. That's the only thing we needed to do. Because the 387 was the bottom of the consolidation. We dropped out of it. We came back strong, got back in it. Then we dropped back out, and then we came back in strong, held it. Earnings took off. Earnings happened. We beat earnings. Okay, it's over here at 420 right now. As long as it stays above that 420, that's good. Maybe it goes up a little higher, and then maybe it drops back down. Who cares? If it ever drops back down and gap fills right there, then just buy it up, because it's gonna be an all-time high company. It's gonna be that. So I don't know what kind of analysis you want on that, but there it is. So okay. Oh, okay. So LLY has earnings tomorrow morning. So, it's a 50-50 shot. I can't help you because it's just it has earnings, and it's right at resistance. So it's right at resistance, and it has earnings tomorrow. It has a huge gap fill right here. It's just too risky right there. Too risky for me to want to play that earnings. You got huge gap fill. You're right at resistance here. The market's bullish, but it's just too much of a risk. You got a huge gap fill. What's it, like a 20-point gap fill? 40-point gap fill. So 40-point gap fill right there. You're right here at the resistance here. You're stopped right there. Yeah, so you're stopped right at that resistance there. And you still have all this consolidation here for this potential bullish pennant. So would I play earnings? No, I would not. Why? Because you're at the resistance of the bullish pennant. You have a 40-point gap fill right here. You had already a big drop. Let's see what their earnings here. Earnings popped and then went. Let's see, did they have any drop on earnings? So this earnings, they dropped and they came back and they came down. So if we get something like this where it drops, if we get earnings here, I'll give you this tidbit. If we get earnings tomorrow morning and this drops to 764 or lower, to 755 or even 730, I'd be a buyer. I'd buy the dip, but I'm not playing no earnings. Right here at this resistance level and this huge gap filled below, no way, never. I would never do that. Maybe I'm wrong and it takes off and runs. Well, then cool, congratulations. Still, I wouldn't play this. But again, tomorrow, if it gaps down and if we hit 730 or 760, 750, whatever that area, it hits anywhere in that gap area, I will be a buyer. I'll buy it up all day. It lands anywhere near this area right here. Anywhere near here. From 765 to 730. So 30-point range. Okay, if it drops there, that's a big drop. But If it does, I would buy it up, and I think it would rally up, back up on that. But otherwise, yeah, good luck on earnings tomorrow. Tomorrow before open. Okay. UNH. What is my opinion on UNH? Okay, well, here's my opinion on United Health. You have this consolidation here that you're below. So you had a breakout here and failed, and now you try to break out again, failed. Now you're breaking down. Okay, this consolidation is telling us you're going down essentially back here to this support and back here to this support. Okay. All right, so you're below that. So below 445, you're in dead man zone. You're going down. 386, 336, 372. Okay. Now, you're saying, well, today it was bullish. Well, sure, cool. You could have a bullish day. Doesn't mean it's gonna turn around and come back. Okay, what's this? RSI's at 2750. Okay, stochastics are down in the slumps. Momentum is really hard down. Okay, can you pop here? Could you get a little pop? Sure, you could get a little pop. But am I gonna long this? No, hell no. Would not long this. Would not long this. No. This one's going down lower. You know, that should give you an idea. The UNH is part of the healthcare sector. UNH had earnings, and what happened? UNH had earnings, and look at that drop. Huge drop. Okay. I don't know where LLY is gonna be at, but you know, they're going higher. This one's going lower. Well, maybe they're doing something right. Maybe this one's doing something wrong, or maybe they're gonna do the same thing. I don't know. But would I long this? No, I won't. No, I won't. It's going to 387 and 374, and then 336 possibly. Anything below 445, I wouldn't touch this. Again, do you have a potential for a pop? Sure, you do. But would I long this? No, I would not. That's my opinion. You asked for my opinion on UNH. That's my opinion. Is it ready for a reversal? No, it's not. You could try it, but I wouldn't. Okay. Okay. CONL. Granite Shares Coin Daily ETF. Okay, not sure what this is. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so not really familiar what this is. Exchange study fund, we're not going to invest equities funds to diverse stocks of companies across financial sector. So I'm going to create these swamps and options to create investment. Okay. All right, so I don't know what kind of financials this is invested or what it mirrors, but it does have a potential inverse head and shoulders on it. R size above 50. Okay, volume is low. Stochastics is fine. You're in a area that does have some good support, but you're getting rejected by that 50 SMA. Getting rejected by that 50 SMA area. You need to hold that. You need to hold this level here. You need to hold this. You need to hold this level 1634. If you could hold that level and then get through that 50 SMA, then this would be a buy. Because if you could get through that 50 SMA, you could set up and potentially fire this inverse head and shoulders, and that would take you to 24, 11, and 25. Okay, but you're going to need to clear that 20. So it has potential, but you need to get clear that 50 SMA. Okay. Defend. All right. Defend, huh? Don't know what this is either. Aerospace and defense bull 3 times. Okay. So this probably looks at NOC, BA. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Okay. All right. Looks like a long-term consolidator. Okay, but does look like it has some potential. Okay. Okay. Looks decent. RSI above 50, squeeze forming. All right. Okay. Looks decent. If it could break that 200 SMA, this thing could go. Okay, where can it go? $35, $38. Yep, 38. 40. Okay, we need to break this downtrend. You need to clear that 200 SMA right at 32, and then you could run it to 35, 38, 40. Looks good on the weekly, better. The daily looks okay. It's inside the moving averages. Anytime you're inside moving averages, it's very choppy. So expect some chop. But if you could clear that 200 SMA, then you get a breakout on the weekly. And if you get that breakout on the weekly, this breakout here, you get the breakout of that downtrend, you'll pop it up high to that 40 area. So you have good potential. The weekly looks the best out of all the time frames. So there you go. Okay, BA. Okay, I said BA. I say BA all the time. Just be long it. You want to play short? You want to play short-term plays on it? Don't do it. Just be long it. I'm long 200 calls. I'm staying long. I don't want to do anything else with it. Do I want to play next week's calls? No. Do I want to play this week's calls? No. Do I want to play next 2 weeks' calls? No, I don't. I want to just be long it. That's it. BA is going to chop around and do whatever the hell it wants. Just be long it. It's going to go. Chop around, chop around. It's been in the zone for weeks. It's been between 169 and 187 for weeks. Is it going to go tomorrow? Is it going to go the next day? I don't know. Nobody knows. Just be long it. It has a nice squeeze setup. RSI is good. Everything's good. Just be long it. Don't be trying to time it. You're not going to win. You're not going to get the timing. You're not going to get it. It's not going to go tomorrow. It's not going to go next week. It's going to go when it wants to go. You want to be long BA? Be long BA. Don't try to play short-term plays. That's all I got to say about BA. Okay. Yeah. You know, you guys doing all these four requests, 5 requests. I told you, you guys only get 3 each. 3 each. That's it. I'm not getting more than that. Okay. Apple. Okay, Apple. You know, Apple earnings are coming up tomorrow. You know, earnings are always 50-50. Tell you that, guys, all the time. You guys want me to give you, you know, earnings targets. You guys think this one's going to go to the moon. Apple doesn't do that unless it's been selling off for a long time. And it hasn't not been selling off for a long time. It's been doing nothing for a long time. It's been in that 200 range for a very long time. So the question isn't, is Apple going to have good earnings? Because I know Apple's going to have good earnings. Or they're going to have regular earnings. You know, that's not the question. The question is, what is their forecast? What's the forecast going to be? That's what the question is. See, Microsoft had good forecasts. Okay. Apple, I don't know. I don't know what their forecast is going to be. You know, they have to be moving their company around. You know, getting it outside of major places. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what negotiation deals they're going to come up with Trump. I don't know what that looks like. You know, they negotiated before with Trump and they did well. So I don't know if they're going to do the same thing. I don't know if they're going to get the same treatment as they did last time. I don't know. That's the big question. How is the tariffs and all the overseas activities, because Apple is a majority overseas. So how is all of that? You know, they have a lot of money overseas as well. How's all of that going to be affected? Okay? That's the big question. Earnings is whatever. Who cares? The real question is, what's the forecast going to be? That's the question I can't answer for you. Am I still bullish Apple? I am bullish Apple, just because I'm bullish the market in general. So I have to be bullish Apple. Um, Although the market has kind of separated itself from Apple for throughout the years. Before, Apple was really a big hindrance on the markets. So if Apple went down, SPY went down. It was a big connector. Now, not so much. SPY is separated through that. It's more of a hindrance of, say, Nvidia or other big time chip stocks. But Apple, not so much. But do I think Apple still goes? I still think Apple could go to 220. I think Apple could go to 220 and gap fill right there. And let's see where else. Here, let's just clear all this out. Okay. So I mean, Apple's still in a downtrend. So one thing Apple didn't do that SPY QQQ did, and that's how you know that they're completely different. We had a reversal, and then we had this here, and then this one didn't clear that. So we didn't bullish engulf this. So that's not as strong as the markets. So this one's still in a downtrend, and we're not outside that downtrend until 226. So Apple could still go down. It's not as strong as everything else. Apple is not as strong as everything else. That is for sure. Okay. Apple's definitely not as strong as everything else. I could see a gap filling though. But I would be careful on any pop Apple gets. If you got earnings tomorrow, what is it? Before market or after market? Tomorrow after market? Okay, I would be worried about if we rally up to 220, 221, whatever it is. If we rally up there before tomorrow, before the close, I would not play earnings at all. If not, if this does hit earnings and it does pop to 221, I think it's going to sell off after. Either way, I think 220, 221 gets filled, but I think from there it shows its weakness. Okay, I think we still go. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I don't know. Well, of course I don't know because I don't know what the forecast is going to be. I don't know what the earnings call is going to be like, but I could see that Apple's not as strong as the rest of the market. We haven't even broke. Let's see, 213. Okay, we barely broke the day's high today, whereas the market has already been broken that since last week. So that just shows you right there how behind it is and how weak it is. So Apple 220, 221 potential, but it's weak. I wouldn't play it until after earnings. I'd rather it drop earnings. I'd rather it drop or be flat. I'd rather it drop or be flat earnings and it open up at say 205 or 200. Then I would be a buyer, and then I would buy it to 220, 221. Otherwise, don't like it. Don't like it. Okay. Okay. Google. Google had earnings and they beat earnings. Okay, popped it up. Okay, and then sold off from there. Okay, now we got filled here. We didn't get filled this one, but I don't think we will. Okay, we got filled. We held 155.50. Turned around, closed above 157.73. Okay, and that 158 level was a major level that I was looking at. We closed above that. Okay, now we break the downtrend. Okay, that's 160. We break one. If we break 160, we should be going towards 161, 162. If we get to close tomorrow above 162, that would be great because that's going to set us up for a potential breakout for Friday or next week. And we should be looking at 170 soon within the next 2 weeks. So let's see. Okay, that downtrend we popped above. Okay, we had that resistance at 162. Okay, we need to get past that 162. Then we go to 164. And then we stay right here. And then next week we take off, break that 170, and then we go start running. Google still looks good. Still looks good. Still looks good. Okay, we just need that confirmation. Okay, we need to get out of this mix between the 50 and the 20 SMA. Break out of there, and then we could set up right above that 164. Once we get past that, we're going to 170, 171. 170, 171. All right, Amazon. Okay, Amazon has a gap fill right here. I'm not sure it's gonna get it or not. We'll see. Okay, but I wouldn't be one to deal with Amazon right now, just because of the negative connotation that it's getting in with the the Trump administration and whatnot. I don't know if there's going to be a tweet. I don't know if there's going to be something that's going to be said about Amazon and it's going to affect it in the Trump administration, that it's going to drop it or whatnot, because they said, they're going to start putting the cost of tariffs on each Amazon product. And they said that that's, a political thing, that they're trying to attack the Trump administration. So I don't know if they're going to try to attack them back. I don't know. So Amazon is one of those stocks that, that's it's in no man's land right now in that area. Like, why poke the bear when it could hurt the stock? And I think that could happen. I think that they could do something to harm it in a short term manner. Of course, longer term, this is gonna just do whatever it does. But in a short term manner, it could harm it. So earnings are tomorrow after close. And it's going to do whatever it's going to do. It's 50-50 shot. You got a gap below right here at 176. Okay. You have you have a potential bottom here at 170, right? You have a potential bottom here. Looks like it could be the bottom there. All right. You have that potential bottom, but this is still, this area right here, it's still a potential bear flag. You need to get outside of 191 in order to get out of there. So you're gonna have to wait for tomorrow. You want me to save your day and tell you, oh yeah, Amazon is gonna go to the moon? I'm not gonna do that. 50-50 shot. 50-50 shot. All other tech is running and doing well, but I don't know how Amazon's gonna do. I don't know how those things are gonna affect the forecast. If Amazon is putting the cost of things, that means that their costs are gonna go up. So if that's gonna happen, then they're gonna have to foresee that with their profitability next quarter. Are they gonna increase it? They're gonna decrease it? I don't know. So that forecast is going to be what matters. So, if Amazon goes down anymore, I'll be a buyer. If it has earnings tomorrow and it goes down, I'll be a buyer, because I do think 170, 169 is the bottom. I think that is the bottom area, and I think that's a good area to buy, that 169.45. So do I think that's a good area to buy? Yeah, give me one more shot to buy it. I'll buy it there. Buy it there tomorrow or the next day. But other than that, um, you're taking on that risk. Is it good potential? Yeah, I'll wait after earnings though. I wouldn't mind. I don't care if it moves up $20. I'll wait after earnings. Okay. Okay. UPS. All right, UPS had earnings, beat earnings, but didn't do nothing. Okay, didn't do anything, and this is why we got swings, because even if the earnings didn't do anything, I still think it's a bottom. Why is it still looking like a bottom? Because this area here is a bottom right before we took off, and it's right back over here at that area. Okay, and I think that we are 29 on RSI on the monthly. It's pretty low. We are 27 on the weekly. It's pretty low. Okay, this is a bear flag, but I don't think it fires. Okay, I think this is just consolidation here. I think that whether it's going to be this week, we get past that 20 SMA, or is it next week? I think that we're going to be within a week. I think we'll be at 100 or more. So I'm not worried. I'm not really worried about it. We got 2.5 weeks left. 2.5 weeks left, and to hit 100 or more, I think it hits 100 or more for sure. Okay. All right, ZS here. ZS. All right, ZS is popping off here. All right, let's clear all that out. Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. All right. So ZS scalar, that one broke out 214 area. Okay, rally on up, going to 228. Potential targets 242, 256. Okay, bullish above 214. Okay, Oxy. So we said the bottom if we could get 46 end of month. Well, today's end of month. Did we get 46? We did not. So this is not looking good to me here. We need to get 46 within the next week. So if that's going to be the earnings or whatnot, when is the earnings? 5/7. Okay, within that week. If they can't get to 46 by earnings, then this is just done. It's done for. It's just done. It's just done for. It's just done for. It needs to get back above 46. Okay, so this is the last area of support. We gotta hold that. We need to get back above 46. Okay, need to get back that above 46. This monthly candle is ugly. Unless we start off next month down unless we start off tomorrow down, and then we rally back up, back above 49, and close this next month at 49 or higher, then then it's done. I need to see this above 46 or 50 by this month. That's the last of it. That's it. All right. That's what it needs to do. Does it have potential to do it? It does, but it needs to do it. Potential is not enough. Potential is not enough. SLV. SLV is just consolidating. Here's the consolidation point. That's the bull flag. It's consolidating. It's above 29.56. It's holding above that. It's just consolidating. It needs to break out. It had the potential to break out here. Didn't do it. Consolidated. Still consolidating. So it needs to break out. It's just consolidating. So it needs to break out. Right now, it's just consolidating. That's all it is doing. I think you can see that. All right, AVGO. AVGO dropped down to our targets here that we went on the downside to 160, 139, and then popped up from there. And now we're above this 187.33, and we're essentially going to 200, 204. That's our targets, 200, 204. Can it be any simpler than that? No. 200, 204. MicroStrategy. Go through this every week on MicroStrategy. You guys always ask me the same question. I tell you, our targets are 378, 412, 438. It's bullish. Okay. Has earnings 5-1 after the close. What is earnings? Earnings are 50-50. Okay. That's all I got to tell you. Earnings are 50-50. I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you everything's going to be okay because I don't know if they are. So I'm not going to do that. Earnings are 50-50. What is MicroStrategy? MicroStrategy is all in Bitcoin. That's all it is. So what is its earnings going to be? Well, it depends on Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Is it up? Okay. If Bitcoin's up, then MicroStrategy should be up. Depending on how much more they're buying, how much more they're getting funded. What's their forecast? Obviously, they're going to be bullish on Bitcoin and forecasting higher. So, do you think it's going to go higher? Potentially, if they're telling you all of these things, then it should go higher. I think it's going to go higher. This should be $1,000 stock. Meta, it's outside of its bearish channel. Held the 20 SMA, had earnings today. Okay, it beat earnings obviously. Okay, what do you want me to tell you? It beat earnings. There you go. It's at 576.66. It's at 576.66. So if you got short-term calls, you better get out of them when you open up when you open tomorrow. What's the rule on earnings? You gap up so much, you get out. Okay, if it keeps going, you can get back in. Okay, if it drops, you can get back in. If you're up already so much at open, get out. That's the rule. You don't follow the rules, you get hurt. You be greedy, you get hurt. Okay. Does it have potential to go higher? Sure. But what's this area? This area right here, 576, 578. What is that? That is exactly the 200 SMA. So it's obviously stopped at the 200 SMA for a reason. Can it get through it? I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Well, do you want to risk that by holding it? No, I wouldn't. Okay. And you have two moving averages here. You got 200 SMA, you got 50 SMA. And you got a resistance level. You're stuck right here at that level. You're going to hold it? Be my guest. But you're going to get hurt. Okay. Past that 588, you go 597, 600. Okay. Otherwise, I would sell that open. Maybe it pulls back down and then gives you another buying opportunity. SPY already did. SPY spent plenty of time on. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. Fucking get back here. All right, coin. Coin here. Buy zone was right here at 195.50. Okay, hit that today. 195.50. It hit that. Reversed. Okay. Nice bull flag setup. That is what, 211.62. All right. So that's a breakout point, 211.62. Okay, we setting up nicely. You know, this one's going to go to 227 and 240. You just got to give it time. Things aren't going to work on your time. They're going to work on the market's time. And the market's time, it's the market's time. So you get long and you hold a couple weeks out, 2, 3, 4 weeks out. Okay, you want to play lottos? You know, you can play lottos, but just know the market's going to go on its time. Tomorrow we could have a huge day. Tomorrow we could do nothing. Friday we could have a huge day. Friday we could do nothing. That's the risk of lottos. Okay, in this situation here, it has a nice, beautiful setup. Can it have a big day? Yes, it can. Can it have a nothing day? Can it chop around? Yes, it can. Okay, overall, in the next couple of weeks, it's going to have a huge day. Coin looks great. Looks phenomenal. It's ready to go. It's ready to go back towards 300. And it will. Okay. All right, SMCI. Okay, yesterday we posted yes, SMCI was a buy at the open. Okay, I hope you bought at the open. I did. I said that we were opening up at the 28, 29 area, and that the gap fill was 31, and that's where we were targeting. Okay, we sold off, double bottomed, rallied up. We're inside the gap. I anticipate we go continue, and we should close this gap at least and go to 33 and continue on. And continue on to the next gap. Eventually, I'm not saying this is going to happen Friday. This might happen Friday, but this won't. overall long term, I think that it could happen this one in the next couple weeks. Go to that 35, 36. Um, but we might have a little issues here at that 34, 35, and then set up maybe like a week or two get here. But it looks good as I buy the dip. Okay. Okay. All right. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. SLV got it. Amazon got it. All right. Alrighty then. Let's see. BTC. Here we go. All right. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin, a nice rally, holding above that 100 SMA. Bull flag, looks good. Looks like our next target is 99,800. Okay, and that's going to have issues there. It's going to have issues right here between 99,800 and 100,000. But that's where we're going. So, coin going higher. MicroStrategy going higher. I think so. Those ones are going to be affected by this. It's going to go higher. I think those go higher. Now, in this area, it's going to have issues. So then I think they will have issues in those areas as well. Otherwise, everything looks good. All right, guys. Sorry for the late thing. Sorry for jumping on late because of the nap. Remember, buy the dip until 576. Okay, everything looks good. All right. So, buy the dip to 576. Okay. QQQ. Buy the dip to 491, 493. All right. All right, guys. You guys, I will see you guys next week. And if you guys didn't jump in the Discord, the links are below. All right. See you guys next week. Good night.